Eel O'Brien's cellular structure underwent a radical metamorphosis after exposure to an experimental concoction. The result? His physiology resembles a living polymer. He possesses phenomenal malleability, capable of elongating his limbs to absurd lengths or contorting his body into any conceivable form. Imagine a human chewing gum, impervious to blunt force trauma. He can morph into a battering ram, a grappling hook, or even a makeshift parachute. But his elasticity is just one facet of his abilities. O'Brien can also manipulate his density at will. He can become as insubstantial as liquid to slip through gutters or solidify himself to withstand ballistic attacks. The extent of his power is frankly unquantifiable. He's a wild card, a walking paradox of physics. One minute he's a two-dimensional smear on the floor, the next he's a towering titan. He gained his powers after an accident involving a gang of criminals and a chemical substance called acid of life. This accident transformed him, giving him the ability to stretch and shape his body into almost any form. On top of this, Plastic Man is immortal. Plastic Man's immortality comes from his unique physiology. His body is made of a stretchable, malleable substance, making him incredibly durable and resistant to aging. This trait has led to the interpretation that he could potentially live forever unless he's killed by external forces. However, one of Plastic Man's weaknesses is extreme heat. While he possesses incredible elasticity and durability, excessive heat can cause his malleable body to liquefy. This vulnerability stems from the fact that Plastic Man's powers are based on a type of plastic-like substance, and extreme temperatures can alter its physical state. I've developed specialized heat canisters. These containers are designed to maintain a constant high temperature, preventing Plastic Man from solidifying and regaining his usual form. The idea is that if the temperature stabilizes, Plastic Man could potentially escape by reshaping his body. By keeping the temperature consistently high, these containers effectively trap Plastic Man in his liquefied state, limiting his ability to reform or escape. Initially, I considered using a ballistic arsenal against Plastic Man, but ultimately decided against it as Plastic Man's body is incredibly flexible and resilient, enabling him to withstand powerful forces that would be fatal to ordinary humans. In the context of a nuclear explosion, his ability to stretch and mold his body might allow him to shield himself from the intense heat, radiation, and shockwaves produced by the blast. A big difference between Plastic Man and Mr. Fantastic is what they can stretch into. Reed Richards can stretch any part of his body and often transforms into a sphere or a flattened mass he can wrap around a target, but Plastic Man is far more malleable. There is nothing he cannot alter his body into, which includes basic shapes or dangerous weapons, avatars of other superheroes and cars. During my research, I have found, in almost every record of Plastic Man except for some rare cases, he is wearing his familiar red and yellow costume, but rarely seen in any other color. The reason for this could be simply that changing colors is incredibly difficult for him. In order to change the color of any part of his body, he must concentrate intensely on it for a long time. To change his color completely, it would probably take him days, weeks, or even longer. It's not practical for him to do it, which is why he almost never bothers. That might not seem like much, but whenever he's trying to get away by hiding, it's his glaring weakness. Imagine trying to blend into your surroundings and you're stuck with the same color scheme. His inability to change colors instantly could be the very thing that gives him away, even if he changes his shapes. Plastic Man's unique ability to stretch and reshape his body allows him to adapt to different situations, making it challenging for opponents to land a solid blow. Plastic Man has been shown to possess a unique resistance to telepathic attacks. This immunity is often attributed to his unconventional physiology and the nature of his powers. Plastic Man's body is composed of a highly malleable, stretchable material, which might make it difficult for telepathic individuals to establish a strong mental connection with him. Additionally, his mind may not operate in the same way as a typical human's, making it challenging for telepaths to influence or control him through mental means. I've reverse-engineered Captain Cold's gun and came up with Bat Freeze Ray. It's designed specifically to freeze Plastic Man on the spot. One shot from Bat Freeze Ray, and he's as solid as an ice cube. Bat Freeze Ray addresses Plastic Man's formidable elasticity, rendering his potential escapes and transformations inert. Furthermore, to ensure his containment and prevent any subsequent thawing, a portable freezer unit has been meticulously integrated into Plastic Man Contingency protocol. I hold Plastic Man in high regard. He's proven that redemption is possible, transforming from a former criminal into a respected detective and superhero. Plastic Man's journey serves as a reminder that everyone deserves a chance to change and make amends for their past actions. However, I can't ignore the inherent dangers of Plastic Man's powers. His ability to stretch and shape-shift can be incredibly unpredictable and, if not controlled properly or due to change in heart, potentially catastrophic. As someone who plans for every possibility, the need for contingency plans arise when dealing with such volatile abilities. Plastic Man is a valuable ally, but even the strongest alliances require careful consideration and planning. With the right precautions in place, we can work together to keep worlds safe from any threat, internal or external. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman!